Hi, my name is Claire Whitner. I'm the Director of Curatorial Affairs and the James A. Welu Curator of European Art at the Worcester Art Museum. We have the distinct honor to host the painting of the portrait of Postman Roulin by Vincent van Gogh from the collection of the Detroit Institute of Arts until the end of December. He's currently hanging in our gallery dedicated to Impressionist and Post-Impressionist painting, alongside works by artists that were influenced by him. Specifically, he's with our Gauguin, Te Fataruma, The Brooding Woman, and Palamotis on Becker's Three Boys Bathing by a Canal. Van Gogh painted Joseph-Étienne Roulin after moving to Arles in the south of France in February 1888. He had previously been living in Paris with his brother Theo, who was an art dealer there. And it's there in Paris that Van Gogh really becomes acquainted with the avant-garde art circles. He becomes friends with artists like Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec, Georges Seurat, Émile Bernard, Paul Signac, and Gauguin. But Van Gogh grew tired of Paris, and he hoped to establish an artist colony in Provence. And when he arrived in Arles in 1886, he had primarily produced landscapes, still lifes, and of course self-portraits up to that point. It, however, had been paintings of peasants that initially inspired him to become an artist, specifically when he visited the studio of Jules Breton. Van Gogh saw Arles as a place where he could explore this ambition in an environment with southern light, bright color, warm weather. But he also wanted to paint human figures, and while in Arles, he used many of the people he encountered there as subjects. Among them was the Roulin family. Over the course of about 9 months, he painted every Roulin: Joseph, the patriarch, Augustine, his wife, and their 3 children, Armand, age 17, Camille, age 11, and Marcel, who was an infant at the time. From letters Van Gogh wrote to his brother, Theo, who was supporting him financially, and his sister, Will, short for Wilhelmina, we know quite precisely when Van Gogh was working on these paintings. In a letter from July 31st, 1888, he first mentions Roulin. "I'm now engaged on a portrait of a postman in his blue uniform with yellow. A head somewhat like Socrates, hardly any nose at all, a high forehead, bald crown, little gray eyes, bright red nose, chubby cheeks, a big pepper and salt beard, large ears. This man is an ardent Republican and socialist, reasons quite well, and knows a lot of things. His wife was delivered of a child today, and he is consequently feeling as proud as a peacock and is all aglow with satisfaction." Van Gogh clearly felt a lot of affection for Roulin. Detroit's portrait is Van Gogh's second attempt of the 6 known versions of Roulin's portrait, all painted between late July 1888 and April 1889. We can see in the Detroit Roulin how Van Gogh had absorbed the lessons he had learned in Paris from the pointillists like Seurat. In Roulin's beard, we encounter Van Gogh's interest in divisionism, playing with an oppositional color palette, and yet he brings a much looser, almost expressionist brushwork to this. Van Gogh had written to Theo that he wanted to paint men and women with that something of the eternal, which the halo used to symbolize, and which we try to convey by the actual radiance and vibration of our coloring. It is arguably this that he achieves in his postman portraits, which have imparted them with such an enduring significance that extends to today. We're not just looking at a portrait of a man who lived 150 years ago, but also a picture of humanity and enduring human dignity. Both our Gauguin from 1891 and Motis Becker from 1901 attest to Van Gogh's extraordinary impact and legacy, even though he was only active as a painter in the 1880s. I invite you to come to the Worcester Art Museum before the end of December to see the portrait of Postman Roulin with your own eyes. I assure you that the reproductions do not do it justice. And take a moment to consider how Van Gogh's palette influences that of his friend Gauguin, or how the monumentality conveyed in the portrait of a provincial postman is explored by Palamotis Becker about a decade later in her painting of 3 boys in rural Worcester, Germany. We look forward to seeing you.